Welcome to Chockablock Digression. Unprofessional. Anyway, how's everyone doing tonight? It's a late night. It is 12:29 a.m. as of this recording. And I was just feeling like talking about something. I just wanted to get some things off my chest. One thing in particular, Iron Man 3. I know. I saw it today. Me and my roommate Chris went out to see it. And it's that time of year, you know? It's that time of year where the big blockbusters are coming out. The ones that they hype up for 1 or 2 years straight. And everyone wants to see. Myself included. Now, especially after the Avengers came out and took over the entire planet, this was a big one. This was the one that was supposed to bring in phase 2. You know, the Avengers they got more shit to deal with, and this is the first chapter of that. No, it isn't. Not really, anyway. Alright, before I get in any deeper, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Spoilers. Earlier today, me and Johnny recorded the latest episode of Chockablock Digression, which will go live Monday. I don't know if this particular video is going to go up before or after Monday. I'm just going to say, episode of Chockablock Digression up Monday. Whatever. Anyway, I talked about it briefly on there, and I kept it spoiler free. I kept it rather short, and on that episode I said that I enjoyed it. Some fucking people, right? Anyway, I said that I enjoyed it. The end sequence is fantastic. The opening is pretty good. The middle, and I had some opinions about the villain. Now, people who have seen the movie know exactly what I'm talking about. People who haven't, shut this shit off. Because this isn't for you. It's not for you. Go see the movie first. Otherwise, I don't care. Even if you haven't seen it, you want to watch it, watch it. I don't give a fuck. But I'm just saying, I'm going to come out and just say it. Everything I'm thinking about. Alright. First of all, Iron Man 3 was written and directed by Shane Black. He made Lethal Weapon and a bunch of other movies. And also Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which I adore. I love Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's a great little noir set in contemporary times. RDJ's in it. He's fantastic. Val Kilmer is in it. He's gay. And it's a great little flick. I recommend everyone should see it. It's really snappy, especially in the dialogue. Shane Black is really great with really good dialogue. And Robert Downey Jr. seems to be the perfect guy to deliver the words that this guy is writing down. He just seems perfectly suited for it. And it only made sense for him to come and direct Iron Man 3. That being said, I feel like sometimes the comedy of Iron Man 3 is a little out of place. It's always surprising, and it's always enjoyable, but sometimes in certain parts where his suit keeps breaking up and crashing into things and all just turning into this big fucking mess. And sometimes, especially in really tense moments, I know he's using that mechanic to break it up and put a smile on your face. Like, hey, everybody, this is a superhero movie. We shouldn't take this too seriously. It's all good, you know? But then there's some moments where you're just like, wah, wah. That's not always a bad thing. I don't always hate that about it, but it does stick out and it is a little weird. Couple points that I want to make. Number one, I don't give a shit about Gwyneth Paltrow. I just don't. I'm sorry, Gwyneth. No hard feelings. You're fine. I thought you were pretty good in the first one. And they kind of flesh you out a bit in this one. But I don't know. It's more of a personal preference than anything. I apologize. Robert Downey Jr. is still great. Still fantastic. Still top-notch. Still one of the best out there right now. Awesome. He's by far the best thing about it. But obviously that doesn't surprise anyone. Of course he's the best thing about this movie. Guy Pearce. I really like that guy. Memento is one of my favorite films ever. But in this, he's just kind of snarky asshole guy. I don't know, there's not a whole lot to him. Except, again, spoilers, he turns out to be the main villain. I know. This is probably the primary reason why I'm bringing this up. I'm doing this whole video. Because all of the commercials, all of the advertising are like, oh, the Mandarin, he's a terrorist. He's crazy. He's blowing shit up. He's going after Tony Stark. He's terrifying. Well, as those of you may know who have seen the film, he is actually a fake. He's not really a villain. He's an actor, which honestly is pretty interesting. But at the same time, it's really fucking weird. This is really difficult for me because I am always in favor of applauding a film that does weird, interesting, and new things, which is exactly what the Mandarin reveal is. Tony Stark comes in, he's looking after the Mandarin, he finds him, turns out he's just some fucking drug-addicted schlub who's an actor playing this made-up patsy, pretty much. An icon, a figure for someone to hate. That is really interesting. But at the same time, you're told to fear this guy, and he's just lame. He snorts coke or whatever. This is really difficult for me personally because I really thought Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin would be great as just this foreboding, villainous dude. He's out to fuck shit up. No, he's actually not. He's actually a big fucking goof. And that was bizarre to me. After the film, I looked up and I was looking at one of the big, sprawling stand-ups advertisements for Iron Man 3. And you got Gwyneth Paltrow doing her thing, Robert Downey Jr. doing his thing, and then Ben Kingsley sitting in his chair all menacing, like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, cause, And it's misleading, not necessarily in a way that I dislike, but it was strange. And I don't know why it bothers me. Because normally whenever a film breaks your expectations and does really strange things, I'm always into that. But this time I wasn't. It might mostly be due to the fact that I was really excited for Ben Kingsley to, stretch a bit and get into this character. But they completely did a total 180 on you. But it is an interesting commentary on the fact that Mandarin is supposed to be Chinese or some sort of Asian descent. I don't know the comic book, so I could be wrong, but I'm going to assume Chinese. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. And obviously Ben Kingsley is not that. And it is some sort of weird commentary on that whole thing where people were out crying like, oh, you have this fucking just ordinary British schlub doing the Mandarin, and it turns out he actually is a British slub in the movie. That kind of made me laugh. But at the same time, I don't know. It bugged me. It's weird. But I do not want to deter people from seeing it because I think it was pretty good. I want to bring up again the ending sequence, which was fantastic. The whole deal with the Iron Man suits, a whole bunch of them buzzing around, and RDJ is fighting Guy Pearce, and Guy Pearce is all like on fire and shit, and busting apart his suit, and RDJ is like falling off of high structures and getting into another suit and fighting some more, and then that suit gets tore up and he jumps into another one, and it was a big fucking mess, and I thought that was really fun and really great, and the whole movie, honestly, in my opinion, is worth watching just for the end sequence, because it was wonderfully done. It did kind of make me laugh that it takes place in a shipping yard, and so does Lethal Weapon 2. I don't actually know if Shane Black did Lethal Weapon 2. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. What do I look like, IMDb? That's beside the point. It's a fun movie. The after credits sequence is pretty great. But it doesn't really set up Avengers 2 at all. Like, at all. In the after credits sequence, you have Bruce Banner, and they're like doing their bromance thing, and that's pretty great. But there's no sort of indication of the direction it's going in, anything like that. The only thing that's really brought up about the Avengers in the movie is Robert Downey Jr. is having some PTSD sort of thing, anxiety attacks. You know, he's like, aliens, that's fucking weird. I'm a man of science. I don't... Gods, get that away from me. And it's fucking him up a little bit. And I think that's pretty interesting. But beyond that, there's nothing really mentioned about the Avengers. That's probably a good thing, because you don't want them banging you upside the head with it. But I would have at least liked some sort of inclination as to where the Avengers is going beyond, you know, the whole Thanos thing at the end of the first Avengers movie. I don't know. I was expecting more. There really wasn't more. That's whatever. Also, really quick note, the whole thing where he takes the arc reactor out at the end of the movie seemed completely out of nowhere and pointless. I don't know why he did it. Unless I missed something, which is entirely possible. But at the end of the movie, he's like, I just decided to take this out, because, fuck it. I'm Robert Downey Jr., I can do whatever the fuck I want, which is true. But the whole arc reactor thing really didn't play into anything in the entire movie. And then in the end, he's like, I'm inspired to take this thing out because I can now. That was a little weird. But anyway, this video has gone on too long. I'm Jordan. I am a co-host with my buddy Johnny in the podcast Chockablock Digression. You should check that out. We talk about things like movies, such as Iron Man 3, and all kinds of other stuff. Video games, TV shows, sharks. We talk about sharks a lot. Like, a lot. So if you like that stuff, you should come check us out. If you don't like that stuff, you should come check us out anyway. If not, do your thing. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're an adult, I assume, unless you're a teenager. And even if you're a teenager, you're still capable of making your own decisions. And if you would like to, you could still come check out chockablockdigression.com. That's where we do things. And we also post our podcast there. And it's an all-around good time. And that does it for this edition of Chockablock Digression. See you next time.